Cool. I am not ready to do this, you guys. Like, I am not used to mornings. Oddne, why are you here? Go away. I'm kidding.
All right, I'll go again.
No!
Stay, no.
I lied! I'm a horrible DM! Okay, no, it's cool.
Except to be fair, Yogg, there was a bunch of like fan fiction that kind of came out around the same time that you left. I don't know. I wouldn't like look too far up
James,
chat logs, but
that was 100% canon. So I don't know about fan fiction you're talking about.
I confirmed the fan fiction, so.
Oh my gosh.
What are you talking about, Rach? It's canon, not fan fiction.
Y'all need to chill your female boners, because we are about to dive right in to Curse of Strahd. We find ourselves looking upon a terrible scene in the dark forest. The blood and bodies of several servants to these dark woods stain the earth and paint the nearby snow. Chance, you hold an unconscious Ezmerelda Davenir in your arms. You can still feel her breathing softly. Scraps and suggestions of your former winter clothes lay strewn about the area. You have your pants, and you have your lucky green scarf. Snow starts to fall, following the buildup of the gathering storm. This night will be a cold one, probably the coldest yet. The floor is yours.
Oh man. If I remember, I'm not exactly in any kind of good condition myself.
No, you are at 1 point.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 1 hit point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the two of us are. She's unconscious, but she's stable. I was able to give her some sort of potion.
She's breathing softly.
All right. I'm gonna look over kind of my own clothes and take account of what the hell happened.
What did happen, Chance? You said something and then everything went red.
Right. Oh, good God. And I'm gonna start looking over Ezmerelda as well. Is her clothes? Is she all intact? I mean, besides the obvious the what seems like wound marks, but is there other sort of ripping or tearing like my rags?
There is a similar suggestion to the white shirt she wears.
All right. It's not good. I think Chance kind of looks around, and has no idea where the hell he is. But we're kind of all in rags, little scarf. So he pulls his little scarf tight, like cinches it, and he's like shivering already now because the adrenaline's starting to come down. But he's going to, I think. Oh shit.
Well, before you decide what to do, you hear something laugh behind you.
And spin around and draw, or like he's like looking for one of his daggers, but he can't even find it. So he just kind of spins, and this guy's hands on his hip.
All right. Veronica shows up behind you, just beaming with delight.
I knew you'd win. You always do. You can thank me for saving your life after you complete your end of the bargain.
Just who are you anyway?
You do not need to know that. I am your friend after all.
And she kind of saunters gracefully up to you, circling you, behind you, and now between you is the huntress, though she stands 10 feet away from the both of you.
I gave you what you seek, Chance. This is what they call you, yes?
Yeah, that's my name.
Well, this is your end of the bargain. Kill the huntress and I will show you the way out of these woods. Even to your friends. No one will know.
Chance is gonna kind of look back at the unconscious. She's like unconscious, right?
She's unconscious. She's breathing softly, but she could come to at any moment.
I think he kind of like looks at her in the snow, and he's kind of just like feeling around once more. And he this time he does actually find his knife, like kind of right at the back of his small of his back.
The woman smiles behind a golden fan that she flutters.
So what? You want me to kill her? And you think that somehow you're going to bring me back to everyone else? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I know I can.
Well, you must have forgotten what I did this whole bloody thing for. I'm only here, lost in these woods, because I came after her. Not to kill her, not to let her go and die on her own, but to save her and to bring her back. So if you think, and this time he draws the dagger, but he's looking right at Veronica and kind of points it accusatory. If you think I'm going to cut her down, you're out of your mind. You're absolutely bonkers.
I'm bonkers. I'm bonkers, am I?
She looks a little unhinged. It's very unnerving. It's very unnerving with the state that you're in, Chance.
Chance is talking to somebody who doesn't even know that he's real. He's like, you're absolutely mad.
Will you listen to me, Chance? I am a very nice person, and I know in your heart of hearts you are a very good doggy. So I will give you 3 nights to change your mind. Because, Chance, for every night you fail to do this for me, I will take the life of someone you love. Think about it.
And she disappears.
I think Chance kind of swallows. He's like, she's not even real. She's not even real. I'm losing my goddamn mind. I've got to get her somewhere warm. And I think he'll go up and kind of pick up Ez, kind of draping her over the shoulder. Come on now, girl. We've got to move. We've got in the cold.
You kind of start to pick her up, and she starts coming to. 5 more minutes, Doc.
And he kind of's like, all right, 5 more minutes. And he'll slump back down, feeling pretty exhausted too. I think the two of them will just sit at this tree for a while.
And she starts coming to. Well. And she's almost in this fever. She's breathing pretty heavily, and it's so weird, Chance. She's waking up, but the adrenaline's kind of winding down for you. There are a few new things that remain, despite your recent endeavor. Your hearing is sharper. You can almost hear the tempo of Ez's heartbeat as you hold her. The sounds of the forest are suddenly more alarming than ever. You can hear the clouds gathering in the sky. That's new. More than that, your vision has never been in such high definition before. You can see more detail in the shadows. And you even kind of catch Ez's scent. It reminds you of a spice cabinet with traces of nutmeg and earth. There's another scent. Blood. Of course. Despite the red she wears, she's covered in blood. But there's also another scent you're picking up. But before you can really catch it, you're looking down into Ez's open eyes.
I feel like he's also, for the majority of this time, has kind of been sort of, I guess, holding her, or like almost kind of couched behind her for warmth. Like the two of them are kind of really huddled close. Body heat seems to probably be the only thing right now that is like a little bit warm, and he's not shy about it.
Chance, roll an athletics check right now.
Oh Jesus! All right.
All right. She's weak. But you get just a little bit stronger in this, and she grabs you by the scarf, and you two go rolling on the ground. But in the end, you're on top. And as somewhere in the middle of this grappling, rolling, she pulled out a silver knife, and she has it pointed straight at your heart.
I think he's got like a knife too. He's got it. It's not silvered, but it's his own dagger, and it's kind of like poking her side, like maybe right on the ribs as well.
You guys kind of work in tandem in that way. It's funny how the forest makes two people sync up. And you see rage in her eyes. I had my suspicions about you. And she kind of turns and spits blood to the side.
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any. I want answers.
Not until you start talking first.
And he kind of like pushes a little bit the point into the side, and then he'll sit a little more upright.
She does the same.
Now, riddle me this, yeah? There's this little goddamn voice in my head. Let's call her a girl. As she is waving her goddamn little fan, and she says, I'm supposed to kill you, right? But that don't really sit exactly well with me. But then again, it doesn't exactly sit not well with me. Because I don't know what you are, and I don't know what I am either. So you better tell me, before something gets real ugly and out of hand.
You've gone absolutely mad.
Yeah, probably.
And it's not a little sharp prick.
You really had me fooled, Chance. You really did. You may have fooled the others. But I thought I smelled something funny on you the moment you came out of that river. She also pricks you with the knife. I ain't about to make this personal, but you crossed a line. How long have you filthy mutts been hiding from me? I swear to God, you best start talking before I start running you through. And she kind of like looks you over, and you're just covered in bite marks. How long?
And he kind of glowers and he's looking down.
Maybe a week. It's not long. I don't know what's bloody happening to me. But you seem to know. And if my recollection is anything at all, then maybe, just maybe, you were able to bloody smell me because you're just as keen a wolf, huh?
And as you say that, that's right. That's what your nose is picking up. She smells like a female. Your eyes flicker. And when Ez sees this, her eyes flicker. They flicker with the glow of animal eyes in the night. And there's a long silence between you two.
He kind of like looks at her for a time, and then he's just gonna sit like fully upright, and then take the dagger off of her side, and kind of with a little flourish, he's flicking it back into his hand and sheathes it into his side, and then he just kind of steps up, like gets right up, offers a hand.
She's
Who is that woman?
hesitant at first, but she takes your hand. What do you mean, what woman?
There's a girl. Veronica. That's her name. Got a little fan, all pretty like. Been right on a proper girl. Just, reckon you'd see her more in a baron's house than out here in the woods, but lass, here she is. All the same.
Didn't take you for the younger types.
Every now and then. Not that young.
She, like, raises an eyebrow.
Wait. So you know she's young then, yeah?
Well, it's what you said.
Well, I said she's... Right, anyway.
She, like,
Do you now? Why does she want you dead? Why does she want me to kill you?
Chance, if I was to give you a long list of every goddamn thing in this land that wanted me dead, we'd be here all night. And then some.
We might just be here all night. And then some. And he looks around, he's like, I don't bloody know where we are. How about you?
We were halfway to the safe point, but I'm not sure now. And you both kind of start feeling the chill, and it's freezing cold. Chance, you're barely wearing anything.
Yeah. Oh man. I think at the very least, he's just like, it's just that little bit of like safe wind around him that just like at the very least, it's just not super windy, but the whole cold. So it's like all around him is just this like damp or kind of heavy air. But he's still pretty freaking cold. Let's try not to shiver. We've got to find something, some sort of solution. Because if those damned druids didn't kill us, well, the cold sure as hell will.
Give me a reason why I shouldn't leave you to die in these woods. Give me a reason why I know you're not gonna turn into one of those things and infect the others. She's getting right in your face.
Well, it'd be bloody rude, wouldn't it? Oh, all right. Look. You seem to be just fine. How come you can control it and I can't? Yeah? That's the first bloody time it's happened, don't get me wrong. I was confused. But if you're so sure of yourself, and you were able to just go, get real chummy close, sleeping next to Nyla and Hildy and all the lot. That sounds like a bloody hypocrite to me, don't it?
Maybe if you hadn't noticed. I have my own bed, and I go out riding every damn night, and she pushes you up against a tree. You think it's easy, working with something like this? Chance, do you know how easy it is to transfer this? You will never know the taste of another person's lips. Never know the warmth of the loins. You have to keep to your own, you understand me? And not once do you have to let yourself fall prey to that thing inside you wants to get out. Yeah, I know you can feel it.
You bloody what? Looks down at her.
She, pulls down the boot a little. From her knee down is a wooden leg.
He's listening. Doesn't say anything.
I was hunting that night, I was. She starts pacing very, very angrily. She's starting to get hot-tempered. I was out in the woods, and there was 12 some of them. I wasn't prepared. It was a big old alpha, too. Now, I took him down, I did. I took each and every one of them down, but the alpha took me off a cliff. We made impact on the ground, but somehow that damn thing survived, and it was on top of me, and I couldn't wrestle it off, and off went my leg in one fell bite, and I can still feel its teeth if I move the wrong way. I was out for months, Chance. Sidelined for months. I didn't have no cleric, no doctor, no nothing. It was just me screaming my lungs out, praying that whatever this was inside me didn't get out, didn't go loose. I screamed until my lungs turned blue. I was screaming blood and silence and then some. Through willpower, Chance, I was able to overcome it. But not before it ate my magic.
Wait, what?
That's right. That's right. You think you're so special with your magic little powers. Well, you know what? I had something like that too once upon a time. And it don't last. And she's so mad. She's fuming mad. Okay. Let me think. God damn it. She's crouching, holding her temples.
He'll finally speak up, kind of stepping away from the shadow of the tree for a minute. But you chose us, yeah? You still walked around with us, didn't you? Either by that damned card or by your own. Maybe you've got some idea that just maybe those little scoundrels, those lot, of misfits and hooligans actually might have a shot at ending all this, right? You wouldn't have been there. You wouldn't have even walked along us if you didn't have an inclination that maybe there was something more. So sure, you could leave me all the same. You could go and join them yourself. Or just maybe, the lot of them, myself included, might still be our best chance at ridding this goddamn land from that godforsaken bastard of a vampire.
You really think some kind of pep talk's gonna be enough to make you march up to that castle?
No, I don't. I'm hoping that pep talk can at least get us back to him.
She as
He's
stands
shivering,
up,
like,
and she starts taking off her long trench coat and part of her sash. And she tosses them to you. And she holds herself. She looks a lot more human without the big flowing trench coat. It's kind of bizarre to see her like this. Listen. You only had one transformation. Well, I reckon you still might have a chance. If we can find Dr. Rudolph Van Richten, he knows a way. But I'm telling you, Chance, this ain't no ordinary bite. What you are, what you did, that ain't normal. This ain't just a curse, it's a disease. Disease I've lived with for some time, but there might be a chance for you. But you gotta understand what you're getting into. It could mean your life. You understand me?
I'm beginning to. Yeah. So what'll it mean then? Will you kill me? Or will you take me back to the others? I suppose out here, and he kind of looks around, as good a place as any to die.
Yeah. And she kind of thinks about it, and among the bodies, there is a hoof and an ear. Let's take 10 meters north of here. There's gonna be a lot of fresh blood around here. I don't want to stay long. I'll make a fire. Come on.
Steps off after.
So, you two go walking in the woods. Now's a good time to talk as any. How lucky for you to be caught in the woods with a Vistana. I've said it once, I'll say it again. They got some kind of strange magic. And in a matter of moments, Ezmerelda gets a warm fire going for you. Even in the cold, wet, damp snow.
A lot of quiet walking for sure, and trying to stay warm near the fire. Ooh, sorry, hiccups. And
But the fire's not enough.
Yeah.
What'll you do?
We'll have to move fast. How far do you reckon we're away from any kind of civilization? Anything warm? Even a cave, maybe?
You know, I started scouting these areas a while back. Woods didn't used to change like this, even when I rode out. There's something weird going on. It's like, well, maybe you can hear it. Do as I do, and she puts her ear to the earth.
he kind of looks at her dubiously and then drops his ear down as well.
Roll a perception check with an advantage.
Ooh.
You normally wouldn't be able to hear this, but you hear a heartbeat in the earth. You hear that?
I think so. It's like a beat. What the hell's is that?
Yeah, it's more than that, too. You can hear things moving.
Right. It's a little quirky, but helpful.
Like Ez is starting to freeze up and she's starting to... God damn it. And she's like starting to pull out a knife, thinking real hard about something.
We've got to keep moving. If we, I mean, Look, let's rest enough to just recover ourselves, just a little bit. Stay by the fire, try to stay warm, think of something. But we've got to move.
You
We
don't
can't
get
stay
it.
here tonight. What?
If we don't stay by this fire, we're gonna freeze.
Well, there's a way. Maybe, I suppose. Back in the old days. I'm talking old. Some smugglers fellas. What we used to do is we'd go on these long journeys, sometimes up north, sometimes up in the winds. I mean, the old ice, you know, and they'd carry fire, kind of in a horn, you know, like the old fellas.
In a
Like
what?
A bull's horn. As a way you can sort of keep fire inside. One fire pit to the next. Not super warm, per se. But
You got
something.
a bull's horn on you, Chance?
Well, no. Not exactly. But
Yeah, we left all our stuff on the carts.
oh, let's see. What do I have?
And I'm gonna look around and just figure out what the hell I've got on me.
For all intents and purposes, you're wearing summer clothes, which are not keeping you warm. Ez's coat helps, but it's not enough.
Yeah. All right.
To answer Zhana's question of, I thought we all had winter clothes, Ez has her own winter gear, but Chance had ripped his asunder when he transformed, and Ez also has damage to her own coat, or her own shirt rather, so a lot of cold is coming in.
Yeah. All right. We stay by the fire. Maybe an hour, no more. We just got to think of what we do. And then we've got to take the fire with us. Torches, whatever it is, anything to keep us warm.
Do you realize how suicidal you sound traveling through these woods at night?
But you got a better option.
No, it's just... I'd mentioned it before briefly, but you sound like him sometimes. It's weird seeing her smile, but she kind of snickers to herself.
Oh, come on then. Let's get warm.
There's an awkward moment between you two where you realize you both have to get a little closer than comfort for warmth.
Yeah. I think he's just gonna definitely snuggle up from behind sort of thing. He's just like, you can hear him kind of grumbling about it, but he's also shivering, so is what it is.
Mia sangere few.
What's that mean?
My blood is fire. Here. She hands you a knife. And there is a tear down the back of her shirt. Clean line down the center. It'll keep us both warm.
All right.
And he'll cut the shirt.
No, the back.
Oh, so I guess he's kind of like the
Be
shirt. in
quick
his hand.
about it.
Bloody mean. Cut your back? Are you mad? You're on the brink of death, girl.
Yeah,
So
well, maybe you'll be a little careful than I will. A little more careful, at least. Just hurry up and do it.
All right.
And he's not trying to go super deep. He's just trying to see what the hell's she's talking about.
And you kind of drag the line down. She's like, ugh. She's very uncomfortable by it. But sure enough, as the blood comes from her wound, you start to feel heat radiating from her blood.
He's like kind of talking to himself. He's like,
Fancy women in the wood. Fire blood. Oh, jeez. What else is gonna happen?
and he sticks the little knife in the ground and huddles up, and he's gonna keep warm. So I guess kind of like looking for like a short rest, I think.
Her blood magic, as it were, to make things, to create fire. Yeah. She uses the wound in her spine as like a heater, and she kind of like snuggles up back to you and you back to a tree, and you both just kind of like rest there. You and Ez, roll your little hit dice. Let's see what you got.
But plenty of health.
Ez is looking a lot better. Her wounds in certain places are starting to heal. You're hearing things kind of snap back into place as she's fiddling around. And you both, just the fatigue of everything. Just both kind of sit there and you hear her starting to hum to herself. A little tune. And Chance, in a way, it almost takes you to a strange place in your mind. There was someone else who used to sing to you, too, when you were little. Tell me about a memory of her.
It would have been probably out on the sea. Maybe like on the onset of a voyage out from Wharftown on the small island of Amia. And kind of like right on that early sunrise, setting sail, moving from town to town. It's on a small sloop. And Tiny Chance is he was like 8 at the time, something real small, and he's kind of looking back at the leaving the docks, and there's a few people that are kind of watching, and it seems like he was never really kind of able to make his friends, so he's sitting there just kind of watching, and he looks up at his mother, who's got longer, very smooth red hair. He's just like, are we ever going to stop moving? No. And then he kind of like looks down, and she's just like playing with the hair, and I guess is just sort of singing a song of like the kind of the elven people when they would leave and travel and move on to new seas, as he kind of watches the port disappear into the background.
She always had that sad look in her eyes. Just the loneliest eyes of all. And as you kind of let that memory come to, Ezmerelda singing one of her little comfort songs. Un vanatorno dorme, e adruma l'inaltes me. It's very soft. It just repeats. Almost like she's talking to herself.
After he kind of comes to out of that memory, and he kind of hears her, and and they've kind of spent some time and recovered, he'll give a little like squeeze to the shoulders. He's like, all right, come on, up. We've got to move. Always moving. That's how we have to stay alive, right? You and me. Always moving. We've got a long way to go, and the cold's going to be biting at our heels. But the moment we stop moving is the moment we get swallowed up. Savvy? There's no rest. There's no stopping. It's the whole way through. It's all or nothing now.
She gives you a smirk. Right on. Let's move. And in due time, you both run side by side in perfect synchronicity.
All right. So I guess as they're going, he's gonna have a torch in hand, and he's gonna try to put kind of his ears to use. So he's really gonna like look around and listen for things.
Use your eyes. Stay close. Let him adjust first. And she douses the fire with dirt.
We'll just take off into the night. So I think, generally speaking, I'm going to try to use my senses here to try to just to try to hear, maybe for like openings, or even just like listening to the wind and trying to see maybe, maybe if it's howling a little more that way, maybe there's more of like an open. He knows that there should be some sort of river nearby, generally.
Chance, make a note on your character sheet. From here on out, any sight, any scent, any sound, what have you, is all made with an advantage. You and Ez. She's good, but you're a little better here. You both start moving side by side, and you get low to the ground, and you start weaving through trees, and the night goes on. You evade wolves. You can hear them howling, and in a weird way you can almost understand what they're doing. They're calling for hunting parties, some in the mountains. They find prey, others. 2 other enemy packs are scouting the perimeter of each other's territories. The black slugs off in the distance, and you easily move past those. There's beasts in the woods and strange things, and you can still hear those roots in the ground. They move. And as long as you can kind of parallel them and move around this border that they create, you find yourself moving into new territory each time. You move until the sun rises the next morning and you both are fully exhausted. You've been moving for 24 hours.
Sounds about right, yeah.
You and Ez are going to get 2 points of exhaustion for moving through the night. You take a rest?
Yeah, I think at a certain point, well, now we're moving at half speed too, so we've wiped ourselves. Are we still in the woods?
You hear the sound of a river nearby.
All right. There's water. That's a start.
Yeah.
We ought to be able to follow it somewhere.
Yeah, just hang on. Short rest is in order. Fuck.
Yeah, all right. Makes sense. Okay, so.
I'll make a fire. Just hang tight. I'll go get food in a bit.
Yeah, we'll settle in.
And she's like cursing in this Zhana language, like fuck. She starts the fire, and Chance, as you go to the river, you can hear a voice. A voice whisper in your ear through the trees. Hildy, if you would repeat your message.
It's Hildegard. Send a signal so we can find you. Did you find Ez? Does she know about your debt?
And that's the message. You
All right.
have the ability to respond.
Oh, I do. Okay, he'll kind of like, as he hears it, I imagine he's getting like close to a riverbank, and he kind of hears this, and he's like, Hildy, is that you? I'm alive. So is Ez. We're trying to find safety. We might freeze to death.
There's no response. Maybe it was in your head.
Wouldn't be the first thing. Oh, he's rubbing his face. He'll take even a bit of water from the river and just kind of splash it up in his face.
You look in your reflection, and Veronica is staring right back at you.
Oh, God.
But she's nowhere around you. You look back, and it's just you.
Yeah, 2 days. Sure. See what that means. All right. And he'll head back to find Ez and relay the news. Let her know that there was some sort of, like, he heard Hildy somehow. Not anywhere around, but in his head.
And as you do, she has a hand or a finger at her temple or something, and she's like, we're heading for the crossroads. See if you can meet us there. Yeah, I found him. What? And she's really not sure what to say, but she's also like, it's hard to understand what you're saying. It seems like you're breaking up. She waits for a response, and she's like, God damn it.
You said the crossroads, right?
That's right.
Which? Have we been there before?
Yeah. Crossed it a couple times, I imagine. There's only one crossroads in Barovia.
Well, look, well, if my magic is still able to do what it's supposed to do, I might be able to see something. Somewhere, like a location. But I've only got it once. At least until we get some proper rest.
Do what you must. But save your strength while you can. I ain't dragging your ass half this way.
Oh, it's you dragging my ass, and he's like,
Don't you start.
well, we ought to settle in. We need to slow down, at least for a little bit. Find the best warm place we can, and let's hope the cold doesn't kill us. But it's not the worst way to die, though. It's any consolation.
No, I suppose it ain't. But I don't plan to die. It's gonna take a lot more than cold to kill me. She goes off into the woods. She's like, I won't be long. And she's gonna go hunt food.
Okay.
Anything you want to do?
No, I mean mostly making camp, talking to himself. maybe he's old, even revisiting his memories again. And, I guess he'll do what he can to, like, maybe trying to make a little lean-to out of like a large limb or something. He's seen it done before. He's just not very good at it. But
of course, as you do, you kind of think back on your memories again. It's been so long since you've really thought about the past, and there was this one memory you had, and your mother was making her meager living in a tavern. She had an instrument of her own, and she had this voice. You know this from her, but elves have this uncanny ability to just carry this otherworldly, ethereal beauty, this magic with them where they go, be it in their presence, be it in their actions, their graceful movements. There was a man once that went up to your mom. You remember this because she asked you to stay back. He offered her a nice place, a good job. You didn't quite know what that meant, but she'd always turn them down. Always turn down these offers. You never quite understood why. Sure enough, Ez comes back, and she's, like, dragging something behind her. It looks like the mama boar that you guys missed from last time.
oh my god, yeah, he's pretty excited. He's even gonna mention, he's like, oh, well, we're gonna little family reunion in the works. All right, cool, come, bring it. And we'll
keep your pants on, Chance. I'm coming. You cut it. I'm tired. And she, like, flops down by the fire.
He's like, I've seen this done before, maybe, and he'll try to do what he can to cut this boar.
Chance, do you know how to carve meat?
No, I don't think he really does. So
Roll a survival check with a disadvantage. Yogg, while you're in the wings, I want you to slowly cry as I describe how he completely ruins this.
Oh, man.
Okay, Chance, you're like, well, most of the meat is in the arms, right? Yeah, the drumsticks and the thighs. That's where the bacon is, right? So you start tearing off the legs and gutting the insides, and you're already 3/4 of the way done through this. And Ez wakes up, and what are you? And she's like, wide-eyed, like.
Like, I feel like both of his hands are just.
Yeah, you got your leg meat.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, look, it's not like we can tan the hide away, or Well, I got most of it out, I think. Not bad. And he'll kind of like dust his hands off.
Chance, this is completely ruined.
What? What do you mean?
This'll only last us a god. Ah! It's like.
He kind of looks. He's like, oh yeah, I guess. Oh. Yeah, I think I see what you mean.
Like all those bits that you eat, yeah. Now there's blood and there's guts everywhere, and they're all mixed in.
And I wondered what that smell was. That doesn't usually happen. All right.
Oh my god.
I think so. Like while we're like working on a board, while we're cooking, while we're preparing all this jazz, I think he's just gonna he's gonna ask her like what her favorite food is, and like the best meal, and they're just gonna go on. He's like on this tangent of talking about like the best biscuits and gravy that he's ever had at this one tavern, and he just like keeps talking about food, and it's just like very dreamy, kind of losing his mind.
One of the things she absolutely loves is the flatbread in this Malaysian mountain range somewhere to the far, far east of like the outside world. There's like the hummus of the dune lands, fire swamps to the south, and she's like, oh, those were good. Bad bunch of banshees, but damn, they were good. And then after a while, she's like, would you shut up? And she throws you your food.
We will eat and rest and attempt to keep kind of, I guess, probably using this river as a railroad to try to, or handrail, sorry, to try to figure out where we're going and get to the crossroads.
Next couple days are tough. You run into 2 bouts of combat with some real mean-looking things. Eventually, you start seeing the road up ahead.
One of those nights, at the very least, having given the other group time to get to this crossroads, he probably would have used clairvoyance to try to just view the crossroads and see if there are people waiting for them there.
You're looking around. Chance, something alarms you. The words of Veronica echo in your mind.
For every night you do not do this for me, I will take the life of one you love.
Silence fills the crossroads. Superstition and shallow graves litter the ground in the center. And for a moment, you just think, it could be your mind. You've seen so many things in the woods. 3 pairs of hollow eyes stare right back at you.
Kind of like, I imagine he snaps out of it, kind of lowers his head and keeps trudging along, and he just kind of murmuring just below his breath with Veronica's words of warning. It's just like, yeah, well, you and your lot are going to have to take a ticket and get in line. He's just going to keep walking, keeping it to himself.
All right. So, last chance. No pun intended.
Cha-ching. I think he would kind of just mention that, he'll need help, and that he doesn't know if he should talk to Hildy about it, but he'll ask her. And he's basically like, I think he spends most of the time kind of walking and trying to learn more about like what the hell's happening to him, and how does he control it, how does he not give in.
Well, that's your problem. The more you change, the more you... She kind of gets a little unhinged grin that fades very quickly. You start to like it. Then it starts to eat your magic. And it'll try and change you. It attacks the brain, you see.
Does Van Richten know where you are? I mean, where we are?
She stops moving. And her head falls. I haven't seen him in 5 years.
It's a long time. You're sure he's still even alive?
Takes a lot more than time to kill that bastard. No, he doesn't know.
Well, it's not my place, not to say anything of the like. Look, let's keep going. Maybe when you go out on these night strolls, I'll join you, yeah?
Would that be best for you right now?
Well, you tell me. I think that would make more sense.
I've noticed something does help. And she pulls out an empty flask on her hip. And you have noticed every night she's been tossing that flask between you and her.
Yeah, what is this stuff, anyway?
It's really strong whiskey is what it is.
Oh, well.
But I've noticed that when I'm a little out of it, it's a lot easier to suppress.
Yeah, I suppose trading one mind for the other. All right. Well,
I reckon
you don't
that's...
need to me twice.
I reckon that might explain Full Tide, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's thinking about maybe telling her about Cadet, but he's just gonna keep walking. He's not gonna do it. We're working our way to the crossroad.
I meant to ask you something.
Oh, yeah?
You've been talking this talk and you've been walking this walk for a while, Chance. You don't strike me as the type with big stars in his eyes. Forgive me if I'm a bit skeptical, but, you're a stranger in these lands.
I'm a stranger in most lands, is.
You really gonna march on up to Castle Ravenloft and put your life on the line? Is that your plan?
Well, I figure first I'll knock, being as polite as I am. No, I don't know. All I know is that those are my friends, one way or another. They're a quirky lot, I'll grant you that. But I don't want to see them hurt. And Irina needs help. So does Reuven. They all need help, and I can do it.
That's a nice thought and all, but you ever think about what that's gonna mean for your friends? I know you got a girl in the wings, and she's on borrowed time, but there have been hundreds before you. There may be hundreds after you who are gonna march up that cliffside and face down the devil himself. Years and years of what Dr. Van Richten and I have been hunting have come from him.
He kind of gives it some thought.
I suppose it's as simple as a storm, and it's on the horizon. You see those dark clouds forming, and something bad's coming. But you can't always outrun it. Sometimes you can't, sometimes it's faster than you are. So, sometimes, the best thing you can do is just ride right to the middle. Look for that eye. There's calm waters right in the center. You wouldn't know it, not until you get there. But all you gotta do is just drive straight on in. Once you're there, you follow it. Best you're able. I don't know.
That'll do, Chance. That'll do. Come on, pick up the pace.
Yeah, you should talk.
He's got like a little hit skip to his step. I think he's trying to tease her pretty much the whole way that he's a little faster than she is.
And she rolls her eyes. She can't hide her little side smirk, but you both start making your way through the woods. And we will see you on the next episode of Curse of Strahd. Until next time.